Shalom, shalom. So we're back, giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone. This is the book of Job, chapter 24, and verse 1. Why, seeing times are not hidden from thee, Almighty? Do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. Poor of the earth hide themselves together. It's talking about the so-called white man and the ways that he purposes upon planet Earth, the hypocrisies that he pushes. These other nations follow in suit. So there's going to be a visitation upon you because of these things. The so-called white man, you are the nations, and 2/3 of our people. So it says, behold, as wild asses in the desert, go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them, for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. But what does it say in the book of James, chapter 5? That your riches are corrupt, and they will eat your fire. The fire will eat it as it were flesh. So that's what the Holy Bible says. That in that day, your gold and your silver will not save you. Your images of stone, your wooden images, your idols will all be consumed right along with your wickedness, and your wicked ways will consume you, like it says in the prophets, that those that fight against Jerusalem, their eyes will consume away in their mouth. Job 24 and 12. Men grow from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out. Yet God layeth not falling to them. They are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and the needy, and in the night is as a thief. The eye of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguise his face. So the Holy Bible says what? There will be whisperers, murmurers, rejects in these latter days, speaking out of their own mind. They've been seared with a hot iron. They have a reprobate spirit on them, and the Lord, right, puts a reprobate spirit upon our people. So it says, Job 24 and 16, in the dark they dig through houses, which they have marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light, for the morning is unto them, even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters, their portion is cursed in the earth. He withholdeth not the way of the vineyards. Job 24 and 20, the womb shall forget him, the word shall feed sweetly on him, and he shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. So this is what's coming in the day of the Lord's visitation, in the day of his wrath. Those who do not abide in the truth of our people are going to be destroyed. You are the nations, the so-called white man. So this is what's coming to America, Babylon the Great. Martial law, FEMA camps, great destruction, nuclear fire. Nations like Russia, China, Iran, to whom the Most High God has raised up in these latter days in order to fulfill the remaining of the prophecies that he has spoken of old through his servants the prophets. So it says Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, punish the men that are settled in their leagues, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do evil, neither will he do good. Therefore, the good shall become a spoil, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So the Holy Bible says what? When the Most High God brings these things upon planet Earth, you're going to have what? The stars of heaven falling, fire often being sent down, the mountains being filled with the blood of the slain, which is why Mashiach Yahushai was prophesied in Psalms 1 and 10 to return and do what? Wound the heads over many nations, through the chariots, through the ICBM missiles, through the armies of the earth, the great desolation which he has purposed, in order for what? To magnify things that he spoke of old, and to deliver his people that would come to pass, and that would and hear these words, and they would be converted in the latter days. So we're telling you what? Thus saith the Holy Bible. Seek the Most High God while he still may be found. Call upon his name, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. So it says, Zephaniah 1 and 16, a day of the trumpet, and the Lord against the fenced cities, and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of them all that dwell in the land. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? This is going to happen, what? Through the Most High God, throwing down these other nations, throwing down the so-called white man, by using them to throw each other down, by causing division in these latter days, in order to what? Purpose the prophecies of the Holy Bible, to have Esau's last stand being made manifest through Gog and Magog, which is Russia, because many of these other nations are going to be destroyed when all these things come to pass. World War III, Armageddon, martial law, FEMA camps, great division, the coming of the fire of the chip. It's prophesied in Revelation 13 to 16, which is the mark of the beast. So in that day, we either choose the Most High God or man. So 2/3 of our people are going to take the fire of the chip. They're going to be destroyed in the land of their captivity. Why? Because they despise the Lord Savior that bought them, the law, statutes, and commandments, the words of life. So we're out here warning our people, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, to seek the prophecies of the Holy Bible. Seek the Most High God in your youth before the days of evil come upon America, Babylon the Great. So it says, Isaiah 14 and 10, And they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So the Holy Bible speaks about what? A controlled demolition being purposed upon America, Babylon the Great. So when you see things like what? These food processing factories, you see these other nations buying up all these different parts of America, Babylon the Great. You see the wicked buying up all the farmland. Why? Because the Lord has put a perverse spirit in them. They have purpose in order for them to purpose an evil thought, to forward the prophecies of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down, and shouldest weaken the nations? So the sun, Man Shahar, in the Hebrew, that means the dawn, the son of the dawn. Why? Because the dawning of his era was in the Renaissance era, the 1400s, the 14th to 15th century. But the dawn of the coming of the saints and the dominion that will be given unto them, along with spiritual power, to what? To put down the confusion, to establish order on planet Earth, is going to be the new era of the Israelites. So it says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So him attempting to submit his order upon planet Earth is going to be in the form of what? Attempting to brand the people like cattle, in order for him to be exalted above the stars like God. So it says, he sits on the mountain congregation in the sides of the north, which is what? He rules out of America, Babylon the Great, out of his capital, which is Washington, D.C. So with that, giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, Shalom.